so we can put it up on YouTube later and use for, I guess, further content.
Very tight, very tight. How's everyone's Monday going?
Good. Tuesday here down under in the future.
Oh yeah.
Tuesday there, Monday me. I feel like I've been working. I don't know how your days felt. I've been anticipating this moment all day, so I've just been grinding. Super excited. I've messaged goddamn near everyone I know.
That's dope. That's dope. Definitely a couple seconds, a couple more people to get in here. Let's see. I'll turn on my camera. What's this? 1 sec.
Face reveal.
Love seeing, I guess, all the regulars show up, and also a few new faces, a few older faces. It's good.
Yeah, let me go. I'm being lazy. Let me ping everyone. But yeah, it's going to be recorded as well, so I'm not too worried about who shows out today. But thank you guys regardless for coming out. Fucking awesome to see everyone here.
So are you buying a monk today? Is that the deal, Jake? Is that what we're talking about?
Oh man, I wish. No, not yet. Sorry, it's actually taking me a second. I'm having trouble getting onto
don't
my
show
computer.
Monk Dal right now. We all love Monk Dal, but don't show Monk Dal right now. What's up, hype man? What up, Mark? See you guys hopped in. We're
right.
getting rolling right now. Jake, yeah, let's get it, baby.
I just have to drop a couple browsers. Can't let these guys get any alpha.
Is that what you call it, alpha?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's fucking.
I didn't get it at first.
Okay. Let me throw this on. Let's see. What's going on, everybody? Good to be with all of you. We'll rip through.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen. Okay. So I'm going to be showing you guys what I know some people here in the audience will have access to. Others that are just holders of the NFT will have to just wait about a week. And then it'll be open to the rest of holders of our NFT. But I will drop this to everyone.
Just sending you a little message in the team chat, Jake. Just in the team general chat.
Got you. Let me see something. 1 sec.
So I'll get this up on the large screen for the recording, but basically this here is your dashboard. So this is what we've been, I guess, waiting for is just getting this all tied together and strapped onto the back end. So the back end's been working for a while now. This is the pretty bit that we wanted to do, so that not everyone has to go through a Chrome extension. Just because people have those security risks, and not security risks, security concerns with using a Chrome extension. So we built this front end dashboard as well. While we're waiting for Jake, we also, for those that didn't see the last dev update, we got great news back from the audit. Is from what I'm hearing, we're in the all clear. Is that right, Jake?
Yeah, the audit was more around like architecture, and a lot of like the design to things, and I didn't really see anything negative on it. I think I dropped the whole thing in here. But let's get rolling into this. I don't think there should be an issue. So I'll show you guys at the end what the full model of the dashboard is going to look like, but just for the testing right now, it's this limited view. You'll simply connect your wallet. Again, only those, so you can see actually I have an NFT in here right now. So what you'll do, if you did not want the extensions, you'll simply come to Magic Eden. Sec. Mute. Sorry, I was just muting. Sure. I'm not going to get interrupted. Okay. So you come to Magic Eden, you'll find a listing. Let's go with this one. You'll simply copy it, paste it right here, and it will populate the listing. And you'll select the various range, again, between 33 and 99%. If you want it 99, you can do that. You wouldn't be able to do like 20, right? Because it's within this variable range. So let's say 50. Let's go with 55 even.
And you can see there the little bit there where the liquidation date is actually updating based on the percentage you put in, or the estimated liquidation date. So the higher the percentage you put in, the longer you have to pay back the loan.
Yep. And you'll see that you're just covering 45, you're covering 55, matches here. Let me see. Someone said that there was a TX error. Again, the reason for the close is we're running like a limited LP on it. It might be that. I just pinged Chronic to check. I don't think it is, but. Yeah, it might be the LP then. 1 second.
Of course.
Literally, like right as we're doing it. I know that him and Matomi were just messing around with it, so they might have grabbed a bunch of NFTs with it. For all intents and purposes, just pretend it just went through. When you purchase the NFT, it'll move into here. So here's where you'll be able to see all the NFTs you've purchased using Core. Again, in the extension, it's all from within the extension itself. But for those that don't want it, it's fine. And so here you'll have liquidity, list, sell now. You can see what your liquidation threshold is. Obviously, the details about the purchase. So I used this a few days ago, so you can already see that like this has moved since I had purchased it. Here you can see. Actually, I might have a workaround, so we don't have to wait for them.
There we go. So it's listed.
We do this. We just take it off. Oh, actually, I do want to show you that. So previously, it was add liquidity, right? So if you won, if I do 0.5, add liquidity. But whenever you add the exact amount, it'll transfer to redeem. And there, I've added the full liquidity. I have the NFT now. Leaves here. And you can see it is in then your wallet. Oh, this might be an old one, actually.
Click out and let it refresh. But yeah, that was sexy.
Yeah, that was an old one.
I love that you have the spectral cube in your wallet. The
scam NFT.
The scam NFT that got sent.
It's from any of us, by the way.
Don't click on it right now. Oh yeah, burn.
Fuck these scammers.
Yeah, burn. That's not us. That's a scam token. But yeah, there's 2 in your wallet now. That's super sexy.
There it is.
Just one. So let's see. That should have been enough to cover this one now. So here's that previous one. Let's do 95. Yeah, it's probably just an LP thing. Where the fuck did I just go? Might just be in this. Yeah. Bingo. There we go. Sorry for the delay on the purchase side. Boom, it's been purchased. Come back here, just have to refresh. Give it a second. And boom, you'll be able to see here. Again, I covered what, 70%? So you can see the time duration on this. Go back here, you can see your liquidation threshold. Again, this slowly rises by 1.75% per day. So pretty straightforward there. Again, for those that have been in the alpha testing, all should be added. Let me know if you have any issues there. For the rest of the holders of UGS or Underground Society, once we get the LPs strapped in, which should be the next few days here, we'll open it to holders only, and then we'll also throw in the other collections from our batch 1 partners. Let me know if anyone has any questions.
Let me check the chat channels.
Here, I'll actually stop streaming. Give me 1 sec, because then I'll give people a little taste of something here.
So that's it. That's it live in action, working in real life. It's exciting.
Well, here I can also share. If you want to clip the recording, because this will be one for people that just showed up. I'll share my screen and show people through the full dashboard of what this looks like and all the other little platforms. Let me know when to start sharing my screen again.
Yeah, you can start sharing your screen now.
Okay.
I'm just
like I said, that's the testing. That's the testing dashboard, and for anyone that might wonder why the testing dashboard, why not just drop it all like this? If there's any like bugs or errors within the testing dashboard, it's easier to have it changed there than applying it like fully to our Versal, which is what this looks like. And so I can run you through the dashboard. So again, like you saw a second ago, it's just this top section here. In the soon to be launched model of it, it's all going to look like this. So this brings you to obviously the core extension. Here, again, like we were just showing you a second ago, you'll paste in the NFT, purchase it, go to your vault. Here's where you'll be able to see, obviously, like I said before, all the NFTs that you purchased using core, all the details around liquidity, what your liquidation threshold is, the sell now, to between these different AMMs, listing to different exchanges. I can actually go back to the dashboard and show you listing in a second, but sell it. Cool. Now to some of the pieces you might not have seen. Well, before that, the ones that you should be familiar with. Again, staking all through the dashboard all in like one place. It's pretty similar to like how you can see it now on the left. Then liquidity pools. So for those that have not seen this yet, this is what the creation page and management page for liquidity pools will be. Again, it'll be this little water drop down here at the bottom. So create or manage, you'll be able to see the pools that are currently live. If you're from the public or just a holder, you've not created a pool, you'll be able to actually go into these and add liquidity if they're a public pool. You'll be able to see which expired pools are out there. So if one closes down while you as a public user still have liquidity in it, you'll be able to go and still redeem all your liquidity, all the fees that generated. The pools, you can go to my pools so you can see and manage very easily the pools that you are already actively in. And then in the create a pool, again, private or public, you'll simply give it a name, add a starting amount of liquidity, determine a lockup. Again, the default is 30 days. For every additional 30 days locked in, it adds 0.5% to your side of the split. Now this locks for the NFTs, not your liquidity. Understand that. The liquidity only gets locked in at first for a 2-week period, but your liquidity is not locked in for the same duration here. It's only the NFTs. And so here with the NFTs, you'll again select 150, 100, or 50. In the pool creation, trigger this, create a pool. And then management here, Again, time and lockup. Again, if you had been 16 days into having had created this pool, this shows you 14 out of 30 days left. The auto refresh is just that it will refresh for another default period of 30 days. Again, this applies to the NFTs, so I don't want you to be confused that it's like, oh, your liquidity is tied in that. The TVL of your pool, the total fees generated of the pool, your pool share, so show how much liquidity you have in this pool and what your, essentially your share, your respective coverage of that pool is. The tier, again, between the 150, 150. The whale tax, for anyone that's not heard about this, if you're a pool creator, and let's say you didn't add any liquidity, how are you financially benefiting off of this pool? Well, you can assign a whale tax. Again, you put up the upfront cost of having those NFTs in the first place, right? And this essentially just takes 5% off of the top of your side of the splits. So if, again, you added no liquidity and it's all the public funded, then you'll be taking 5% off the top there. 95% gets distributed out to the people that have actually put liquidity in. And we can always discuss that a little bit. I think, again, it's whale or creator managed. So I think it'll be pretty interesting to see how whales kind of vie to compete with one another. Pretty straightforward there, though. Auctions and raffles.
Yeah, so
pretty familiar with.
So to clarify on that lending pool side of things, or liquidity pool side of things, is that only whales, those that holding 50 or more, and states can set up these pools, but anyone can add to the pools that are created as public. Sound
Correct.
right? Yep. So
Yep.
That's I know there's been, I guess, some concern in the community about the fact of liquidity in the protocol. This is the solution to it. So it's we're not limiting it just to those that have the larger allocation of NFTs. It's an interesting way of setting it up.
Yep. And then everyone should be pretty familiar with the auction and raffles page. Here's just like the upcoming view of them. So when you have like the full details spread out across this NFT history, pretty straightforward there though. Like I said, most of you should be pretty familiar with that end. Yeah, let me know what questions people have. We can kind of dive into it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can kind of speak on the sheer mass of liquidated NFTs that might or should come in, right? And those are going to be 60% kickback to holders via auction. And honestly, we just implemented Engage to Earn via Soul Decoders. So imagine the first or the top three get access to a private auction of a blue chip NFT below floor price. So super
actually,
exciting things.
70% though. Just want to make sure we're clear on that. There's nothing changed.
All right. 70% of the NFTs that are liquidated are going straight back to holders. Just an example, like SharkFi started loaning out NFTs on their own protocol. So then they get to raffle off the liquidated NFTs to their holders. Every single liquidated NFT on our protocol is going to us, right? And 70% are going back to you guys. So it's going to be crazy.
Okay, we have a couple of questions in holder chat. So Levi said, what is the limit to using core? How much higher can we buy an NFT from the NFT? So for example, if someone listed an NFT at 1,000 Sol for a UGS and they wanted to then use core to buy that, what measures have we got in place for that?
You won't be able to do it. I can actually show you that. Well, I mean, there's no point in showing it to you live now. It is live now for those that have access to the dashboard right now. Try to buy an NFT that's like 10 Sol. We limit the range above the floor that a user can purchase an NFT. Not going to give you the exact range because that'd be stupid. But just know that, no, you're not going to be able to game it in the sense of like, oh, low listing, I'll run the floor up and start buying my own NFTs using core and do some like MEV kind of stuff. Also, yeah, I mean, an NFT is listed at 1,000 Sol. No, you won't be able to buy that one. We've already developed a model. We're just kind of perfecting a model that will allow users to buy vastly higher than floor NFTs, all based around traits. But building that, like the nuance to that is that you have to kind of build it specific to a collection. And you also have to have like a very deep understanding of why a collection's specific trait might have ran. I like using like galactic geckos as an example. What was it, Searcher?
The neon. So the neons are normally like that 5 to 6x of the floor value. So it's having the ability to use core to buy something like that has a steady floor value above the base floor is something we're working on.
Yep. And so, yeah, it's not to disappoint, but it's to also, like now you're not going to be able to manipulate it if that was the real reason for the question. If you're looking to grab grails in the future.
Yep.
Soon.
Awesome. I think that answers that pretty well. Now, Crypto by Night has asked, do public pools have a higher rate of return for whale pools with 150 NFTs? So for public investors, would they make more with 150 NFT pool versus a 50 pool if whale tax was the same?
So first to the 150, because there's kind of two parts to that.
Yep.
So 150 has a higher rate of return than 100 or than 50, and 100 has a higher rate of return than 50, but less than 150. There's also the nuance that the depth of liquidity in a pool determines the attributed revenue to that pool. So if you had a 150 pool and it had zero liquidity in it, or let's say it had one SOL, and then you had a 100 pool with 50 SOL in it, the 50 SOL is getting a lot more of the revenue attributed to their pool because they're putting up more of the liquidity that's actually being used, right? And so the size of the tier, or I guess the tier, really just determines the flat line split. And then it goes into, well, okay, how much liquidity is actually in a pool? Now, to it being public, I would say that those will probably have a higher yield than possibly private pools, but that's not really...
There's no way to say it exactly. Like, just it's likely that TVL is going to be higher, so the percentage of the split, that's what you're trying to say, is going to be higher, but it's not guaranteed because a private pool could be huge.
Yeah, and to that, so yeah, I would say a public pool, with the public being able to increase the depth of liquidity, you'll probably see higher returns on that pool than a private pool and you've only added one SOL. In addition, we're also going to be monitoring the creation of these pools initially to see if we should apply a liquidity cap. Probably a good time to bring that up to the non-whales that might not have heard about this. The reason for that is pretty simple. We don't want, let's say that there were 10 people with 10,000 each. That's $100,000 in TVL, right? All the pools then are getting pretty approximate attribution of the revenue. Well, if someone came in and was like, okay, there's $1 million in my pool, then all of a sudden from 10% each of those pools is now getting 1%. And so we don't want to dictate like how pools get created or at what sizes, but we don't want to create a system where someone can come in and make it dramatically unfair for the other people that have been providing liquidity, and then also leave us as a protocol heavily reliant on one liquidity provider. Again, it's still TBD on what kind of sizes in terms of caps that we would put on. But that is where I could see in the future, back to where I was thinking about private pools, them being useful for anyone that's had experience in DeFi or used platforms like Bancor. You'll be familiar with these kinds of liquidity caps, especially on like dual-sided pools, where it kind of limits overexposure of one side, or it limits how much liquidity can go in. So you have to wait for liquidity to leave, and then you can add liquidity. And so with putting caps on, it starts to create a kind of similar situation there. But yeah, so to finalize Knight's question, it's going to be a pretty nuanced answer there.
Yeah. It's a lot of the stuff is very dynamic based on multiple variables. Hard to give an exact answer. I'm not sure if they Yeah,
saw,
yeah. So
Phi Time.
he replied saying that there's basically two layers: the underlying percentage of number of NFTs and the total liquidity in the pool. Yep.
And then I saw Phi Tai had a question.
Yep.
Did I miss extension if info? No. So we're doing the dashboard now. Sorry, I thought I was still sharing my screen. We're doing the dashboard now, and that's what we'll open up. First off, just to give you like the general time frame, we've gone through like alpha testing of the functions. Now we're going through the dashboard testing. We'll strap the LPs in, and then we'll open the batches, so it won't just be UGS NFTs, of course, and enable the dashboard use of core to all holders of UGS. While we're doing that, we'll be running the testing on the extension, and then with the same group, maybe we'll add some people to the alpha testing group, and then open that in the same exact format that we did with the dashboard.
Yep. Yeah. So we're still doing both. Just the dashboard was the first one to get tested, and it opens up opportunities for more marketplaces as well. But they're both still coming.
Where does this have issues? No. Here, let me even pull that up. Here, I'll actually share my screen again. Because people might not have seen this previous video, so I can kind of walk you through this. Give me a long time. Do my screen.
While Jake's getting that, if anyone has any more questions, you can drop it in holder chat. Let me check Gen chat if there's anything in there. No, nothing in there. Or you can raise your hand and come and say hello as well.
Yeah, there's just a petition to get Jake a regular size monitor in Gen chat. So I guess that's for later talks. But I told them it's multiple and they're spread out everywhere. So I'm kidding. Giant monitors. Thank you everyone for coming out. But yeah, let's keep it going.
Yeah. So here's the extension for anyone that might not have seen this previously. So again, just imagine this is just a simple drop down.
Is that loading up? Is that loading up at your end, Schaefer? Sorry, Jake. I'm not seeing anything at the moment.
Above, if you scroll up, I don't know if that's...
Yeah, it's all good. I just wanted to make sure everyone else is seeing it because it's just buffering on my end.
Alright.
So
maybe close it and restart it, Jake. Maybe it's not working for most people.
Let me see in the chat.
Could just be my end.
Yeah.
Do you guys see it? Let me know in the chat.
Yeah. Seriously, let him know in the chat.
All right, it's working.
Yeah. It's just slow.
You'll get into this. Fuck. One sec. It's annoying as fuck.
Come on, Jake. Maybe the monitor acquisition is actually a reasonable ask at this point. No, I'm kidding.
One sec. Okay. I think I figured that out why that was giving an issue.
The longer you take, Jake, the more you're getting roasted in holder chat, Gen chat right now.
Okay.
Seriously, I'm not even checking it. I gotta check it.
All right, fuck you guys. All right, here we go.
Now, more and more people keep hopping in. I think maybe we have to buy another one. I'm kidding.
Yeah, so again, here's the extension. You'll connect. Here's what the view will be for, let me drop this. For NFTs, again, you use purchasing core, click the individual NFT, So it'll show you the purchase price, the estimated sell, if you're at a profit or loss, obviously depending what the estimated sell is. This is essentially just the average of AMMs, your liquidity, liquidation point. So again, very similar to what you were just seeing from the Dash model. We didn't want to add too many complexities to this. Sell now, again, sell directly to various AMMs, list directly to various marketplaces as well as delist. Pretty explanatory there. Again, looking back here, kind of a little bit different than the small cubes on the dashboard. It's kind of just this line item, but it shows you, again, pretty relevant information. And in the dashboard version, there's a pro button that will kind of show you a display very similar to this. Let me know if there's any questions, though, about the extension.
Yeah, and if you're just hopping in here now, this is going to be recorded, and Jake did buy a UGS from Magic Eden using Core. I'm not sure on the leverage he used, but he could have used 33%. He could have used 50 if he wanted to, but yeah, and paid it off as well. So this is going to be recorded on Twitter and on Discord, so you can tune in there or ask us anything right now, but hell yeah. Oh, fuck, I guess I have to turn on my camera now that Searcher's turning his on. See what I look like. Hold
on. Quacken asked, is extension going to be directly visible on marketplaces so we just click and buy?
So when you have the extension, it will create the overlay marketplace, right? And so that overlay, you'll be able to click it, pulls up the buy screen right there. You'll input the data and you'll be able to purchase it. There is a hiccup we're seeing right now with Phantom. So Phantom has a closed SDK. That means is that you can't really build too much integrating Phantom, though we did find a pretty convenient workaround that when you have the overlay on the listing, you'll click it, pulls up the buy screen on the exchange, you'll input the info, you'll press buy, it will route and pull up the dashboard with auto-filling the information, and you'll be able to just purchase it like that. Now, again, that's because they have a closed SDK. Wall providers like, let's say, Backpack or Brave that have open, if you use those wallets, all the functionalities like we explained, you'll just click the extension, or I'm sorry, you'll click the overlay, buy screen comes up, purchase it right there. The trouble is, again, with Phantom just being closed, can't really build too many extensions into extension. You can build sites into extension, so that's the bit of annoyance there. But yeah, not really much different. If anything, it's just going to kind of show like why Backpack is winning right now. But also we've also been speaking with the Phantom team about when they're opening their SDK. They were looking at the beginning of February, but I think with a lot of PNFT upgrades, they had to do some funny things on the back end. But
yeah, the PNFTs threw a lot of people in spiral, I think, early this year. But I think that might be an... Oh, I'm regretting coming on camera now. Oh, we got a hand. Who we got?
People roasting you?
Yeah. Why are you coming on camera? They might be roasting me, to be honest. I'm not looking, so I'm not ready for that right now. Can't take it.
We got Anson.
Hey, you got on doxing right now. I do have a question. I can see that during a very hype sweeping of a project, I can see that we will not be able to buy. We were just gonna buy. It's gonna be flying. Like the NFT is gonna be flying off the shelf, and we won't be able to buy anything because it'll be too small. Is there a way we can set up like settings to like a default, like like it's gonna be I'm gonna have my setting to 30 or whatever. You make it as less step as possible so that we can actually buy something when things are flying off the shelf really fast, like the UX, I guess.
So you like
would have something in the considered feature.
You mean like a sniper bot?
Is there a way to automate purchasing with Core?
I mean, I'm not so much about automating, but like to make it so that there'll be less steps to buy in. Like maybe have a way to even buy in bulk or like a lot of like how Tensor has a lot of functionality,
yeah,
which make it really allow you to buy things faster. So I'm not sure what we can do on our end. But like, I mean, if I would go to buy a D-Guard and there's no one sweeping, yeah, everything will work out perfectly. But when there is a project that, you know, there's something, there's an announcement came out or something, people are sweeping like crazy, then we're gonna go through all this extra step and we won't wait to buy a thing, right?
Yeah. So during points where there's just a lot of people buying, right? Like think about like right after a mint or something, like you just can't get an order to fill. We would have to essentially introduce some sort of like sniper bot to that. But in terms of like bulk buying and sweeping in that way, we could look to add that in the future right away. Again, we just want to get the MVP out. The difficulty I could see with that though is that you're adding too many variables to a range that requires like precise calculations, right? So what I mean is like, if you're buying one DGOT, great. How much leverage you're using, great. We can figure out what your liquidation threshold is, how many days that means then that you'll have until that rise estimates to run out. But if you were to say, okay, well, I want to buy 5 DGOTs, all at these increasing prices if you're sweeping from the floor up, and
they would just have to be individual transactions, I would think, yeah. but automated instead of Ianson having to click the link like 20, 30 times, like copy paste. So that's definitely great feedback and something we'll look into and see if there's a way to build that in and still, I guess, ensure the safety of users. Because as much as it's a great tool for leverage and stuff, we've seen the risks that come along with lending protocols. So it's we've got to be aware of that as well.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, like, I don't see it going to be being used that there's a need like right away where you're going to do bulking or like, you know, crazy functionality right away. And I don't think it's going to be used that often, right? Because the chance that people are not going to be using this to try to sweep.
Yeah.
But I can see that in the future it could be something. The more we make it less work on the user friendly, I guess, the better it will be eventually. So this is just something I want to note for future development, like in case we want to improve our UX and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. I think our first batch partners probably not a lot of people are going to be sweeping bulk SMBs and geckos and gods and all that. Like it's they're pretty pricey to start with, but I can definitely see your point.
The difficulty also on a user side would be a bulk liquidation. Just wouldn't want like you to like go so fucking degen that you put 33% across 3 DGOTs because you had 100% to buy one and all of a sudden now you've got none. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a feature I'm sure people will be requesting.
Yeah, and I know Ziggy's already asked about getting sniper bots attached to it and stuff like that, and trying to maybe fill a wallet, like a trading wallet, and then set a buy limit and use the core to buy in as well once if a floor hits a certain price. So there's definitely things we can launch. It's just scaling into it over time. Let's have a look. Have we got anything else in the chat? Otherwise, I think that was an incredible showcase. I think you could see it live in action. We bought an NFT at a fraction of the cost and then paid it off, and it was within the wallet. If anyone has any questions on it, obviously we're available all the time to answer anything from you guys. But liquidity pools are getting attached this week. Is that right, Jake? And we're going to open it up to holders first to test it out, and then obviously then our first batch partners are going to get rolled out as well. So keep an eye out for that. That's probably all we have on core and the dev we if no one has any questions. we can jump into the rest of the stuff we're doing, because it is a jam-packed week, even on top of our live showcase of Core. I'll just give anyone a chance to raise their hand or ask any questions. It just seems like the holder chat and Gen chat is just roasting at the moment. So everyone's forgotten about the fact we've just live showcased our utility we've been promising since December.
We're just getting roasted for fucking chairs and cabinets.
Well, that's actually an aircon unit, Ziggy. So pull your head in.
Yeah, they don't have that in whatever fucking country he's in. Actually, let's get Ziggy up. Can we bring him up?
I don't know.
We will jump into some of the other stuff, because we are already hitting 40 minutes, and we've got a big crew here as well. We did drop an announcement last night of all the community style events we've got coming this week. So I was hoping Scooby would still be around and show a little sneak peek of what they're dropping in a couple of hours, but he dropped it in my DMs a couple of days ago, and it's fire. I love Scooby's beats, and then throwing on Outcast's animated artwork as well. I think that's a hot ticket that's going to be on our black market auctions coming this week. And then, as we do with all of our black market artist spotlights, we do our best to try and market and promote them as well. So we've got a Twitter space coming tomorrow with those two, and then we're going to jump into Discord straight after, and Scooby's going to rip up a beat live in VC for the community, which I'm pretty hyped about. Apparently he put stuff together, beats together in like 15 minutes, so it's going to be cool to see that in action. We're going to do a few more, I guess, community style gaming events. So we've got Among Us on Wednesday for those that haven't played it. It's good for a bit of banter and trying to guess who the killer is. If you haven't, I recommend having a look at it and coming and joining us on Wednesday, because it's good fun, lots of banter, good community building. And then on Thursday we have a poker night, which I think Shofo is going to be running. We've talked about
Soul City Poker and I'm blanking on their owner's name, but they're sponsoring and hosting as well. So there'll be a bunch of communities there. There'll be an announcement soon.
Yep. So Schaefer's going to run a few more events so that those in Europe don't have to stay up to midnight to be able to play along when I wake up in the morning. Understand that we're 24/7 and Australia's the other side of the world. So what else have we got? And then we just got a bunch of other spaces as well. We got a space on Thursday. I think we've got one. I see Sterling in the crowd. We got one with geckos. I can't remember what day it is, but it's in the latest announcements of when that is.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday. So tomorrow we have tomorrow we have Wolf Capital, Cyber Samurai, Rare Pepes, and Nomads coming on our space at 3 p.m. Eastern. And then, like you said, we have the Scooby Outcast at 9. And then on Thursday, Immortals, Pop, Geckos, and Jelly Esports are coming on to ours at 4 p.m. Eastern as well. So Thursday, another big space. Friday, we'll be on Fox Club Soul. They have like a daily space every day at 4:25, so we'll be on that space as well on Friday. So Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep. Arcs just dropped it in holder chat. Just dropped the auto command in there, so if anyone wants to see when it is in their time zone, it's right there. Have any of the holders managed to participate in Core Kill? Jay's asked. Yes. We've had the alpha testing, so we've got a few guys in the crowd that have used it. Ziggy, Quacken, Simulate, Arc. I'm not sure everyone that's used it because we opened it up to alpha testing, but yes, there has been holders use it already, but we're going to be opening it up to all holders in the future. You've also asked what was the mint price of mint.
I just answered it. It was 2.25 to 2.9 SOL at $10 per SOL.
Yeah, so long ago I've forgotten. But we are still above mint price, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah, I'll answer that as well. Like holders will be able to use core in the next week, like all holders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And people will be able to set up lending this week as well. Is that correct, Jake?
Yep.
So if you
Yeah. So as soon as the LPs are up, and we've already sent NFTs to test it. It's fine.
Yep.
I'm like going through like 6 different convos at the same time doing this. Yeah. And so once those are in, again, that dashboard I showed of it earlier, we'll unlock that to everyone. And so if you're a whale that's accumulated, you'll be able to create the pools. If you're the public that just wants to add liquidity to a pool, you'll be able to do that as well.
Mm-hmm. One last one that I've seen in here. Are we doing anything for NFT NYC? I want to know that too. Are you shipping me out to New York? Is that what I'm hearing?
You want to come out? You come out and see the big city?
Searcher better be there. I'm not going unless Searcher's there, honestly.
Is
Gecko.
Is that in like
Gecko.
2 weeks? No, that's LA. NYC is in April, right?
I thought
Yeah, let's plan something for sure.
I can't promise I'll be there. It is
sooner than
it is a long way.
It's coming up fast.
I would love to though.
So Keej, you might be new. Welcome. The reason why so many have 50 NFTs plus is because that to create a liquidity pool, it requires a minimum of 50 NFTs.
Yep, and it'll be interesting to see, but like when the LPs are set up and live, there's a high chance that a lot of those are going to be locked for a long period of time as well, which you should be able to see too. So yeah, there's that big gap between 1 to 10 holders to then 50, because those that are 50 are really wanting to take advantage of the setting up the lending pools and getting a split of the fees from core.
Stage what? Hold on.
I can see you.
I'm not going to watch chat. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you.
Okay. Actually, here's another point, because we don't touch on it too often. But you reminded me, thinking from the he's not in the Keej is not in the voice chat.
Oh, okay.
All right, I was gonna say.
Are you right to answer those, Socrates? Anything in there? If that's all good, are you still in the crowd? I can see you there, or I can see Ark is helping as well. Yeah.
Apologies, but cool. I wanted to bring up though, actually, from what you just said, like the 1 to 10 range for holders. So while we've been really concentrating on getting core out, getting the auctions, raffles, liquidity pools all finalized and out, we've kind of fallen off on the lore side. For those that have been here from the beginning, you'll remember that we created this lore to really serve as a piece of art in that appeal, but also a way for us to bridge between art and community, and really foster like the beginnings of a community. So that's why we have the faction councils and so on. With that, these chapters that we want to release at the beginning of each month, we haven't, and I'm glad that we haven't, because they kind of would have been wasted. The point of these chapters is to really create the ability for engage to earn or vote to earn. When I say that, don't get confused with other creations of this. You're not going to go to Twitter. You're not going to tweet about a chapter or anything like that. You're simply just going to vote for a decision. So the way this functions is we release the chapter and the story in, and at the end of the month, we have chapter ending events where the factions, the holders, all of you, will vote specific to your faction on essentially one of 3 decisions that determines really how these chapters end and where the story progresses from there. And so all of those that engage or all of those that vote will earn from a pool. And then obviously if there's a winner to these chapter ending events, let's say it's a faction war and there's only one winner out of it, that faction may be rewarded in additional ways, anything from NFTs to Solana airdrops to no trading fees for a week, something like that. But I wanted to highlight that again, because a lot of people keep asking about like, oh, well, what is there for 1 to 10? And this is just something that is so obviously tied to having revenues coming in from core. We can't release it yet, or utilities tied to core. So I wanted to remind everyone of it.
Yep, I even mentioned it earlier.
He's not in the fucking voice chat. No, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying earlier, even the Soul Decoder bot, like a bunch of new rewards for people that are top contributor each week for Soul Decoder and Engage to Earn. So, like Jake said, this is really when I guess you could say holder benefits start to get crazy for every single one at UGS.
Awesome. Well, I think we might answer Kilge's stuff in the chat to answer a few of his questions, but looks like we might be coming to a close. We've almost hit an hour for Townhall. We're almost double the length. Obviously, it was a special week this week, but if anyone has any questions, now's your chance. If not, we might close it up and I'll start uploading this recording to YouTube. But thanks everyone for coming along and listening in and watching Jake showcase core for the first time live.
Yep. And keep your eyes peeled. We're gonna let you guys use core this week, so it's gonna get super, super exciting over here at UGS. Thanks everyone for coming out. Yeah.
Peace, guys.